Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our MLS series here. Missed an upload yesterday, but that was our Sunday series of the next step with Mikel Arteta and West Ham, but decided to just go ahead and not upload that one for the week. We'll just pick up with that next weekend. The weekend just got a little crazy for me, so I ended up missing today. So sorry about that, guys, if you do enjoy that series, but it will be back next weekend, like I said. So kicking off the week with MLS Mondays. You know, this season really kind of fell off a little bit after the first couple episodes in the beginning of the season. We've been drawing some games, we've been losing some games, we're falling a little bit in the table. I think it honestly has a lot to do with the amount of fixtures that we're playing and some of the players just not playing as well as they were in the beginning. Martins has kind of fallen off for us. Dempsey obviously still playing really well. Green is playing well on the right, but still not getting us the goals that we need. So him and Gat are kind of going back and forth for that starting position. We really just need Martins to step back up, and if he continues to perform like this, I have no problem actually moving him on in the next window. So that may be something that we are looking at here soon. So definitely keep your eye on that. Like I did say in the last episode, because of the whole him moving to China thing, it's definitely in the possibilities that whatever deal I end up getting, that I end up sending him out, so long as it's not in the same league as us, which I don't think we'll have that problem anyways. But this game against Colorado Rapids, obviously we just played them at the end of the last episode, but here in the beginning of this episode we play them again in the J Paint Trophy. Not necessarily one of the challenges I'm too worried about winning. It's definitely our best chance to win, because obviously this is only a tournament for the bottom two leagues. So obviously this is basically going to be an MLS tournament, which this basically takes place of the MLS tournament that we would be playing if we would have kept it in America. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, you never know. These League 2 squads that could be coming through, which obviously were previously League 1 sides, could end up shocking some of the MLS teams. I still think they're all capable of doing so. So it'll be interesting to see how things kind of play out. But here against the Rapids, kind of the same thing that happened in the last game that we played them against. I wasn't really able to dominate the game. Martins is just really fallen off for me. His pace is nowhere near as blistering as it was when I first started this season. He's not getting into the attacking positions he was at the beginning either. So, you know, maybe I need to move him back to striker and then maybe drop Dempsey to a center attacking mid kind of role, because obviously, as you guys see here, his long shots are incredible. He can still do a lot of damage. He has incredible passing as well. So maybe moving him to center attacking mid might work out for me, and then maybe move Julian Green over to the left and then play both him and Gat. I have a lot of options to kind of play around with, but I think we're definitely going to have to make some sort of change. But here in the 60th minute, Julian Green kind of is able to just break away, put that ball on his right foot, and put it near post, and giving us a 1-0 lead against Rapids. So at this point, you know, I'm comfortable. I'm like, all right, we have the 1-0 win with 20 minutes left, or 30 minutes left rather. This should be a pretty easy win for us. I'm not too worried about it. So I kind of sit back a little bit, but bring on Gat instead of Julian Green so I can give Green a rest. And then Gat's just able to use his pace to run down the pace of the field. And as you see here, I actually had brought off Martins and put on Jermaine Jones. He's our left back. Is it Jermaine Jones? I believe that is his name. Oh, Jovine Jones, sorry. So ended up bringing him on. He's a left back, but he has pretty good pace, and he's also capable of playing left mid. So I brought him in. He doesn't have the most pace in the world, but he kind of had enough pace to just keep up with Gat and then just sit there perfectly for the cross across the ball, or across the face of goal rather, and was just able to smash that into the top left corner. So giving us a 2-0 lead there. And you know, that's kind of all I need Martins to do. I don't know, maybe his pace is too much for me to run down the field with Gat and Julian Green. Maybe I need somebody a little bit slower on that left side, so Jones could also be in the team. I'm not holding that out. He ended up being pushed up into that role because as of right now in the left back position, I'm pretty comfortable with the one that I have. So Jones may be making a move forward if Martins continues to play the way he is and not scoring for us. I really need goals out of him. And it's really like the only opportunity that we're going to get in making sure that Martins can stay in the squad. Here coming up against Real Salt Lake, We had a lot of players go out on international duty, which is the only problem with having this MLS team in this league, is that whenever it comes to League One, obviously it's a league of 24 teams, so the idea is that we need to be playing every week to get all the fixtures into a normal football season. So with that, obviously, this is a league that shouldn't have international duties for their players, that the players aren't ready in their state of their career to actually be there. So having some of these players that are going to be playing for their international squads kind of puts me in a position where I have to end up playing some of my backup players. But coming against Real Salt Lake, I really didn't mind that too much. We have Freiburg in there. Farfan is going to continue to play with Alonso in the center mid. Our defense takes a hit because we actually have to play Scott, who's a little out of form, but definitely thought he could do the job regardless. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting game. This is back in the league, making sure that we can kind of continue to grab the wins where we need them to be, because we're starting to fall a little bit in the table, and we have a big game against one of the Mexican clubs in the next week. So or not even the next week, I think it's actually pretty close. I don't even know if it's a full week away. So here in the 45th minute, they get a lovely opportunity here, but the cross just isn't strong enough to actually grab a goal. We end up giving the ball away again though, but Fry's able to make the save after a shot, passes it straight to one of the midfielders, and they get one more opportunity here before the end of the first half. But another game, as you guys can tell, obviously, I wasn't that comfortable. The first half was a little iffy for me. This Seattle Sounders squad is definitely a second half team, and I think I need to actually start playing it that way, and maybe start playing some of my weaker players in the first half, at least attacking sense wise, and then bring on some of these players for the second half, because their pace is obviously going to work a lot more for me. Martins actually manages to grab himself a goal here in the 69th minute, kind of making it a little more difficult for me to decide whether to keep him in the squad. Obviously, if I do move him, I think I am just going to move Dempsey back to that center attacking mid role, like I was saying. Just because it's really hard to justify to drop a 79 rated player in a league like this. He's obviously one of the best players in my squad alongside Clint Dempsey, so it's really hard, like I said, to justify giving him away. But here in the 89th to 90th minute, we actually end up conceding a goal, just a well-worked cross into a beautiful header, and there wasn't really much I could do. I kind of laid off a little bit. I was kind of distracted. Wasn't really too focused on the game. I kind of thought it was all tied up here at the end of the game. I figured, maybe 90th minute I'll start focusing up again, because of how much scripting happens in this game, but really wasn't ready for anything to happen before that. And here, there, and then 89th to 90th minute, it just ended up not going our way. So we end up drawing this game against Real Salt Lake, which is really disappointing. It's a game I definitely thought we could win, even though we didn't have our full squad. Hopefully in the second half of the season, we do end up with our full squad coming up against Real Salt Lake, because it is really disappointing to drop points because of the international duties. I kind of wish there was an option for me to just say my players are not available for international duty. Obviously, players would be kind of irritated by that, but at the same time, you kind of have to understand the situation that we are in, where it's difficult to give away a player. And that'll, let alone, I think we gave away 3 players or 4 players in that game. So it put us in a bad position. But here, looking at some of the scouts, or some of the players the scouts found rather, some very strong players. Mark Harvey is 77 and 94 rated. Not really sure where he's going to end up. It's either going to be center, defensive mid, or one of the center backs. Definitely going to sign him up to the squad. 77 or 17 years old right now. Sorry, way too many numbers in my head right now. But then we also have this Alex kid. We're going to scout him a little bit longer, because he does have a pretty broad potential rating right now. So we're going to scout him for another month, see if he stays in that 90 rated while it brings up his bottom potential up a little bit more, and hopefully we can get a good player out of that. But as you see, just after one game, Martins is actually able to get himself back in excellent form. Julian Green in incredible form. Our entire midfield doing really well. Payne is kind of struggling on the left back position right now, so Jones may be coming in the next episode to kind of take over that left back role and just kind of give Payne a break, because he's not playing as well as I was hoping. But here in the 38th minute, we have a pretty good opportunity here with Julian Green. Just a lovely cross, but just wasn't able to jump over the player to actually get a goal from that, which was a little disappointing. It's kind of irritating when your players don't jump up to create chances and just kind of let the defender take over the ball. I had a few opportunities to shoot here, and I think I definitely missed a couple opportunities, but tried to work the ball into the box, ended up passing it to the wrong player, which is always frustrating in itself. So coming to the end of the first half, this game is going to be at a 0-0 draw. Obviously, with these being the Mexican League teams, these are some of the stronger teams in our league. It would not surprise me if all three or four of the teams that I brought up from the Mexican League are actually going to be moving up to the championship in next season. It would not surprise me at all. Hopefully, obviously, that we can be one of those teams amongst the Mexican squads to move up in the league. I would love to see all MLS teams move forward over the Mexican League teams. Obviously, as an MLS fan, you want to see your favorite league do well, but it's going to be a difficult one nonetheless. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good players in those teams that all have the potential to do incredible in this season and in this series altogether. I would love to see how this series progresses a few years down the line, how many teams are kind of scattered across the league. I would imagine MLS teams are going to stay in that League 1 to championship kind of area, but we'll see. Maybe the MLS over a few seasons can actually take over the championship. It'll all be kind of interesting to see, and that's the big thing about this series is just seeing how these MLS teams will stack up if they were actually put into the MLS. But here in the 70th minute, we concede another header, which is one of our biggest difficulties right now, and maybe I'll focus a little bit more of my training on heading, because we're conceding goals that we really shouldn't be, and it's really disappointing. These set pieces are killing us. These crosses are killing us a lot more than they should. Historically, I'm just not a player that ends up conceding that many headers, so it is disappointing to see when my players are not up to par in terms of making sure that we're not conceding against these headers and set pieces. So a little disappointing, but here in the 90th minute, we get one more opportunity with Gat. He runs down the pitch. He has a little bit of a bad touch just trying to get it past the defender, but the defender manages to knock it out of bounds. Gives us one more opportunity here to work our way into the box. So just kind of looking for that one pass, that one shot that's really going to work for us, that one opportunity that we needed to bring this game back to a 1-1 draw. And I'm just running around the box with Jones trying to look for that one opportunity we need. I end up getting the ball into Clint Dempsey, and he ends up hitting the post. And every FIFA player knows that feeling. 90th minute, you have the opportunity to score, to get the result you need, and you hit the post. It's so disappointing, especially when you're playing with sound and you can hear it bang off of that crossbar. So disappointing to lose this game, but it is what it is. I'm going to show you guys the table at the end of this episode, but we do drop into 10th place. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Like I said, the beginning of the season started really well for us in those first couple games, but ever since we've been struggling, and we definitely want to make sure that we do not continue this form. We need to start winning games. We need to start focusing more on the league and less on these cup games. We're doing well in the cups, but that's not really going to help us out in the long run. We need to make sure that the league is our main focus. If I can progress in the league but just not do that well in the cups and not win any cups, I would totally be fine with that. Although I want to win silverware this year, the league is the priority. We need to be moving up in the divisions as quickly as possible. So here you guys are going to see the table. If you guys see that result, Tigre actually ended up beating one of the teams 4-0. So their goal difference is at 10 right now. Obviously one of the strongest teams in the league. Surprising that they're actually only in 5th. But like I said, the Mexican teams are going to be the strongest teams in the league. Chicago Fire up there, definitely holding their own, but we want to see more MLS teams in that top 4 than just these Mexican squads taking over the league. So hopefully we can put in some good performances in the next episode, but that is going to be where this one ends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.